Yo, what's happening? We're just going to be doing some warm-up drawings. I got some music playing in my headphones. Obviously, I can't be playing copywritten music on my channel, so I do like listening to stuff while I draw. One of my favorite playlists that I have, if you guys are on Spotify, right here, it's simply just called 1989. It's 21 hours and 56 minutes of music that I dig, right? And then it's from 1989, 90, 91-ish. But it's stuff that really inspires me. Also, I like going over to my spinner rack and taking a look at things to get kind of charged up. Uh, I will be checking. I will be checking the chat every now and then for questions and things. Best way to have one pop up, obviously, is super chat because it highlights them in bright colors, making them easy for me to see. And I know these drawing streams aren't that popular, but I figured I would just share this part of my process. It's something I do each morning where I just try to think of different poses and things like that and just kind of get my head into the idea of thinking of things in 3D. I don't know if you guys have any of these. It's one of those posable figures. I've got this one. I've got the other one that they make too. Let me see if I can get it here for you. This is the other one I have. I keep it in the package just because I like keeping everything in the package. The thing I like about this one is it does come with like a whole bunch of stuff like a gun and a sword and a knife and a laptop and a phone and all that stuff, so you can get kind of accurate. But I do like the posability and figure on this one a little more. Um, but the funny thing is I don't really use them that much to draw from. I use them more into kind of understanding shapes and the relationships they have to one another, and sort of the idea of how things are foreshortened. Like if I go like this with this guy here, and I put that foot up close to the camera like that, scale wise, it's almost the same size as his torso if you just looked at it in 3D or in 2D. But my main thing that I want people to think about when they're drawing, and one of the things I try to do when I do my warm-ups, you can see this pencil right here. It's funny looking. Hopefully that'll focus. What's going on with the focus? That's not good. Let me see if I can get. Uh, there we go. Better. If you guys want cheap and easy pencils, if you go to like Staples or Office Depot, I buy these things. They're just golf pencils, right? I'm gonna show you what you can do because again, it like in my estimation, when people ask me things like what pencil do you use, or questions like that, um, I used to ask those same questions, but now I found that it's kind of irrelevant, as long as it's not a shitty pencil. Like there's certain pencils that just put out. Oh, see, that broke. That was the end of that one. And here I wanted to demo using that short ass pencil. Here we got another golf pencil. Anyway, my point is you can use anything as long as it can write and draw, and even if it's sucky, I use the stranded on an island sort of principle. I'm sharpening this pencil right now. I don't know if you guys have one of these old school school sharpeners. You'll recognize that sound. It's that lovely, wonderful sound. But anyway, what I do for warming up is it's not really much of anything other than to get into the idea and the headspace of that things are. I'm actually trying to craft things in 3 dimensions. Hopefully this is nice and clear for you guys. Let me see if I can zoom in slightly. Oh, I can. I can fill the frame with the sketchbook right to left. That's great. Closer is better anyhow. So one of the things I try to do is I always think of the torso as this sort of almost squishy pillow shape like this, but I also think of how bones relate to things. You know, like you have your collarbone, and if you're reaching forward, your collarbone's going to bend. If you're reaching back this way, the collarbone's going to go that way. So I think about that relationship and sort of the shape that would come here. And How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, it's that cylinder that they have. But I'm also thinking about how things fold. If this is moving forward and the chest kind of attaches here and here in the arm, well, then that's going to dictate what happens with the chest muscle. And we know that the shoulder connects in here. It's almost like puzzles. I call it edge pieces, right? Like when you I scan my pencils from mini putts. Don't tell anybody, man. Please don't tell anybody. Um, let me see. Let me see. I could see the super chat better if I actually look at this iPad here on the side. This is how when I do StreamYard, I can see comments, but when I do this, I grab this here. That's weird. It won't let me go into the... Oh, there it is. There we go. There I am, and now I could see your chats. Anyhow, I try to... That's freaking blurry. Let me try to get it to focus. There we go. That's better. Much better, much better. Need to get that autofocus working. Anyway, I try to think of how things connect, and obviously what I'm doing right now is what I call slow drawing. It's just kind of getting into the mode of drawing, understanding the shapes and how they relate. Like if you look at some of Art Adams' drawings and some of Ryan Stegman's drawings, you'll notice that they do something like a grid. Like if this guy existed in space, I would say that the vanishing point is here. And you'll see that they have this sort of like perspective grid like this for their drawings. And then what they can do is if they put another character in space, they can put that person in that same sort of consistent 3D space, right? And what these grids do is kind of hold you and apply you to that volume as if it lived inside of a giant glass fish tank, and you can put those shapes inside. What I tend to do though, only during this warm-up process, is I'm thinking about construction, and I'm doing what they call drawing through. So I'm thinking of all these things as geometric shapes. And you guys have seen all this shit and all the how to draw stuff, right? Like all the how to draw stuff. Let's just do the quick run through. This is one of my favorite pencils to pencil with. It's a Twisty Race made by Pentel. Anyway, the main shapes that you deal with in the world are you have your cube, which everybody knows about that, and you can do the rectangle too, modified on this, the sphere, and of course the cylinder, and things that are modified based off. I mean, obviously we have the pyramid and we have a cone, but the main building blocks are these three. And then I try to think of them in a way. Let me see if I can grab it. Hi, son. May I see that real quick?
Dada?
Yeah, I'm streaming right now, bud.
You know where my phone is?
I'm using that phone. You can use this phone. That phone. Here, you can use this phone. This phone. I'm literally live right now, dude. Okay, I love you. Okay, so yeah, he's mad. His phone is which is really my phone, is a super lightweight. This phone up here is let me see if I can show it to you. It's a super duper lightweight. There it is. Super duper lightweight iPod Touch. So it doesn't put too much strain on the camera mount, but the camera mount with my phone, it starts to sag. Okay, so the cube here, some guys, they make a torso, a sphere that they divide up, they put the collarbone in there. I do that sometimes. Yeah, you heard that stomp. I try to think of it as this shape, right? And the reason I have the kneaded eraser is I also think of like that it bends like this, and like when you arch back, it's sort of flexible. So, you know, if you look in some of those cartooning books, you'll see them do the sack of flour, you know, that it can kind of bend and whatnot. Well, if you think of the human torso that way, like, you know, if you put a stick here and put a head on it, and these lean forward, and then put cylinders on there, you'll see that you can really get that body shape quite quickly if you think of it that way. But again, my main thing, like I said, when I'm doing warm ups, is to get in the mindset that I'm not working on a piece of paper. I'm actually looking into a window. This grid that you see some artists use, some guys need it, some guys don't. I'm one of the guys that doesn't, because I'm seeing it in my head already. And a lot of times when I'm working, I won't even do construction like this. Like, you guys have seen it on my couch doodle videos. Let me move this keyboard out of the way so I can move this up. Slide it up a little bit. You know, if I wanted to draw this same arm without construction, I can just, you know, go like this. The shoulder goes here, the tricep goes there, the flexor, extender, like that. And I know that that's the basic shape of an arm, and I don't really need to do the construction lines because I've done it enough times at every angle. But that's the other thing you want to think about when you're doing anatomy. Depending on the angle of how things move, like this right now, I'm drawing this this arm with the wrist turning towards you. What doesn't work with these figures is what up, Zaid? What doesn't work with these figures is when you do this with this model, there's none of the changes that happen with a bicep. So, for example, when you have an arm straightened out like this muscle, the bicep muscle, will lay flat like this. And then, of course, when you flex, the thing does this. It bulges up, right? So that's what it ends up happening, that you don't get out of these things. And also, there's different interactions on how you can position the wrist. One of the things that I try to tell people, these are like little secret sauce things. And I'll show you on this. Like this, you could never have this look in real life, and I'll tell you why. Because, and you guys can check this on your own arm, your pinky, this ball of your fist right here, will always line up with your elbow, no matter what the orientation is. Like this ends up, as you turn, if you were to turn this wrist down like this, that would end up turning that slightly. This part of the hand and this part of the elbow always correspond. So, for example, let's do it over here. Let's do an arm. And I'm sorry if I'm not reading chats. It's because I'm talking and drawing and doing a little bit of Shifu teaching. I was called Comicsgate Shifu today. I liked that. I thought that was cool. Hail Caesar, and just consider me your teacher. So, for example, if I had a docile arm, right, and I said this is at the side, we have the elbow like this. There's the forearm muscle. Here's the elbow. That means the thumb will be here, and if we did a fist, we're saying that this pinky part here and the elbow will do this. Okay? But the second, if I was to draw this arm, if I turn this fist this way, so we're turning it this way, this will end up changing what happens to this arm, because as we move that this way, the elbow is going to move a little bit, and it's also going to flex out your tricep a little bit. And a lot of stiffness in poses ends up happening because people don't understand that there's kind of a chain reaction of things when you move your body. So, for example, we'll do that wrist turn right now. If I had the shoulder like this, and I'm saying I'm going to turn the wrist out, so we're actually seeing the side of the hand. Well, now that elbow is going to be like this, and it's going to show us a little more of that tricep. It's going to flex that tricep, and you're going to get this. And the shoulder would essentially stay the same, right? But the what ends up happening as this, like I said, this turns, it's going to move that elbow over, and it's going to, I mean, just sit and do it yourself. Hang your arm, keep it flat, and then just turn it and see what happens to this muscle. See the relationship between this and this. So that's super important, and it's good to realize it's not just in a stationary arm like this, right? Like if I drew, let's bring this here. If I drew, let's see if I can zoom it in a little bit for you. If I drew like an arm coming out like this, let's just do the cylinder version of it, connected to the torso, right? So we've got the chest goes here, we got rib cage, the lat. Well, if the fist is, let's say I turn it down and do it a la Spider-Man like this, right? And put the hand like he's doing this sort of thing, like Spider-Man, okay? Let's say he's doing that. Well, we know because of that wrist that elbow is going to pop here. So we know we're going to see the underside of the forearm and less of the top side of that, and we know that this is going to bulge a little bit. We know that this connects underneath the shoulder and arm. This goes here, and like I said before, it's like puzzle pieces, right? And what I mean by that is like when you put a puzzle together, like let's say here's the puzzle. A lot of times you'll look for all those edges, right? The edge pieces, so you can build that puzzle frame. And then you can kind of use all of those things as reference on how to build the rest of the puzzle till it's filled in. So I do the same thing when I'm drawing figures, right? Like if I was to, let me jump in, see if show you some other stuff in here. I mean, this is, you could see in here, I mostly draw in pen. Like here's a whole batch where it's just warm-up drawings where I just do them in pen. You know, and also here's another example of sort of how I think when I'm thinking when I say I'm thinking of things in 3D and not on a 2D surface. I'm thinking of things this way, you know, almost like wireframe, but I'm seeing that in my imagination all at the same time. You know, here's some more fun drawings. Let's see. These were my warm-up sketches last night. I'm going to switch over to pen just so you guys can see it a little clearer. And that one works. Let's use the back side of this one. So again, you know, if we were to, let's say we're going to draw a figure, I'm going to do something with foreshortening, okay? I'm going to have a hand coming at us, strong, and we're going to have a hand going away. And then what I'm going to do, I don't have any colored markers or anything, so I'll just do it all in black and white, I guess. But so I'm thinking about foreshortening, like if a hand was really close to us, let's say it's a fist, right? And again, I'm thinking, these are other things I'm thinking about. When I draw a fist, I know that this middle knuckle's the highest, right? And there's also like a bit of a stagger. If you look at this, there's a bit of a stagger. And while these poke out, these tuck in. So when I'm drawing this shape, I know that this is the middle knuckle. It's going to come out this way. This is curving in. And these are staggered. These are going to curve inward like that. So we have this fist, Again, this is all really loose and whatnot. Let me zoom in slightly so you guys can get a better idea. So I'm thinking about this. If we're gonna go, hey, let's remember about puzzle piece. We know that if this arm is coming at us, that bone, that pinky bone is going back here, which would mean that elbow is probably here if we were thinking of that thing in 3D space. So I know that related to the elbow, that this muscle comes up and around like that, and this would curve up and down, right? So there's that, and then that bone, if we were to put the shading to how that would work, it would go like this. And again, I'm thinking of that sort of cylinder that's behind there. Then we've got the tricep would be here. How it relates to the shoulder is like this. So now I know that we're seeing the top side of the arm based on the orientation. And like I said, it was that pinky going into here. That bone goes up into there. The whole, this bone connected to the whatever bone. I've done this enough times that it's a little more automatic. I see a super chat from Mark C. Not a boring stream at all. In fact, might be my favorite. Well, hail, man. Thank you so much. John F. 76. Hail to you, my man. I saw your tweet today. That letter, very funny. Okay, so we have the idea that this is in the foreground, and it's receding back. And this is something important to note. If we were to say that the size of this fist, right here, that's the size of that fist. Look at that. There's 1, 2, 3 shoulders worth in that same fist. But in real life, the fist and the shoulder are about the same size. This is how foreshortening works. As it gets closer to the camera, it's bigger. As it gets further away, it gets smaller. So we're going to do that also here. So I'm going to do that pillow shape that we did earlier. And now I'm going to say that this collarbone is going to throw this arm all the way back, okay? So I know that the collar on a deltoid, which is your shoulder, connects, like if this was your deltoid on the standard thing, that bone goes right into there on your deltoid. So I know that's going there. It's doing the same thing on this arm, but watch what I do with the cylinder. Okay, and this is going to be a little bit of overlap. I'm going to tuck that hand back like that. I know that tricep is going to go here. The elbow is going to go here, which means that pinky is going to be back here because that's going to line up. And then the thumb goes here. There's a bit of overlap right here. That's called a depth cue. There's a lot of different things for depth cues. One of the depth cues that you can use is overlap. Like if I draw a circle overlapping another circle like that, we get the sort of idea that circle is closer. It gives the illusion of depth. That's one simple depth cue. All these bits of overlap here, how the shoulder goes into the tricep, goes into this, the bicep goes into the forearm. We get from that idea that this is actually going away from the camera just on overlap with the use of overlap. And then the other one is scale. That's how we're doing. Like if you look at this fist in contrast to this fist, let me grab this. This is a whole brand new idea, this kneaded eraser thing. But here, that's about the size of that fist. And then this is about the size of that fist. Look at that. Those are the same hand on the same hero, but we're giving the illusion of depth. A lot of times people their drawings flatten out because they're trying to keep their proportions right, but they're not really considering the foreshortening and how things get closer to the camera. We're going to take the neck, and here's another bit of overlap here. Like if I put the head, and I'm doing a lot more drawing than I usually would, just for the sake of demonstration, but this head is overlapping this, so we're saying this head is in front of that, etc. The chest goes here. This is a landmark right here where your chest joins on your sternum. That's something that doesn't really move. All of this meat right here that's connected to the shoulder, if we had a torso, right, let's just make an arm go here, here, and here. When the arm is up, this bit of the chest Here's that landmark I was saying. This bit of the chest is going to move here. If that arm goes down, this bit of the chest drops down, but this is still the pivot point on it, right? So always remember that connectivity between the chest and shoulder and how this doesn't move. But this is a pivot point and this is a pivot point. So you can think of it almost like this shape here. Here's the shoulder. This is a locked position. This is a locked position. But this thing can move. So if it moves up here, it's doing that. If it moves all the way up here, you're doing that. But these don't move. Okay, so that's another thing to think about when you're drawing. Doing some more overlap. If I overlap these abs on top of one another, we're getting the idea that the stuff is receding away from the camera this way, because this is overlapping this, etc. So we got this idea. Also, again, here's the 3D aspect of it. If I was to draw the wireframe on this, I'm thinking that this is going away from camera, like the cylinder is like this, going away from camera. Here's another thing called contrapposto that I want to talk to you guys about. We've mentioned it before on other streams, and you might have seen it in other people's streams where they're talking about drawing. Contrapposto is the idea that things need to be in opposition when in action. And what I mean by that, there's contrapposto in nature. So if I was to draw, here's a leg shape, right? The outside is going to be higher, and its counterpart on the leg is going to be lower. Same with the calf. And the only place that it switches is right here on the ankle. And what I mean by that, if I was to come in with, let me use a thicker marker. If I was to come in with the actual muscle structure, I would make this muscle higher. We got the knee, this muscle higher, the ankle, again, counterpart. The bump on this one is lower, the bump on this one is lower. So you get this action here. And if I was to draw, the muscles and the kneecap and that bone, you get that. And if I was to think about the lighting direction, like let's say the lighting is going this way, this would cast a little bit of shadow. It would be darker here, 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 a little bit of that there, and so forth. But there's that. But going into contrapposto in regarding this guy here, if this fist is coming forward, if I was to put this leg coming forward, it would take all of the gas out of the gesture. So for example, let's say I've got a guy running and his arm is back and this one is forward like this. If I put this leg forward and that leg back, it looks like he's gonna fall over. So because here's the contrapposto part, his shoulders and his hips should never be parallel. They need to have the contrapposto. So if his shoulders are going this way, the hips need to be going that way. And right now we have this guy's shoulders going this way, which means his hips would go this way. So let's do that same running pose. Here's the guy. Hopefully, yeah, you guys can see it. Here's the guy here. This is coming back. Well, now we want to put this leg forward and that leg back. And now that looks like somebody running versus somebody falling over. So let's get back on this guy. So I know if I was to go all Spidey style on this guy or Rascal style and I want to put that foot really forward, I would go, let's see, where does that cut off? There we are. Like this. Here's that foot. And we're going to do that algebra thing again where we go, well, if the foot's there and we're doing crazy foreshortening on it, the big toe is the leading part of that toe. We got the ball of the foot. That's going to overlap into the heel. Well, now we know that that's the heel. There's the ankle, which would put the knee up here and the calf coming in there like that, right? Let's do this and put a little drop shadow on the head. Shadows help pop things out too, but let's say we're doing this. Well, that means if the knee is here, that must mean that that quadricep is coming back there, and that crotch is another one of those pivot points. So that's as much as we're going to see right there of that leg, man. So I would say, boom, this is coming, kneecap here. Another thing you can do to do a depth cue is contour lines, right? We usually do that in superhero comics with boots or belts or pouches or straps. I like pouches because they're more dimensional, but if this was Spider-Man, his boot line would do this, which also shows this is going away from camera. So if this is coming down algebraically, again, I say algebra like deductive. If this is happening and this is happening, then this must be happening. So we have this going forward. We have this bit of the quad going there. So we want to have that other leg go back. We can have it do all kinds of things, right? Because this right here is where that pelvis bone is. So you have a socket joint here. So this leg could potentially go forward, backwards, this way, whatever. I'm going to make it come back over here, okay? So if I'm saying this is going back and behind, well, that means that knee is right there. If the knee is there, then that quad goes here. There's that other quad is right there. So this is, and we're saying this is going away from camera. So if there was a strap on here, it would be going that way. And then I would put the calf muscle here. If this is a cylinder, we put the rest of that there. We can say that foot is doing this. Again, remember the arch of the foot is on the inside of the foot. That's how we know. That's what I tell my kids when they put their shoes on, that, you know, the arch is on the inside of your instep arch. So we know that. Ankle, this connects there. Again, if we put this like that, we do that. And again, the other thing, like I said, what I use to help create motion and dimensionality is yeah, King KDI. Let me read. I got some super chats coming in. Let's see. Chats engaged from Eddie Winkler. Hey, Dan, this content is super cool for guys like myself who love to draw but aren't great at it. I'd watch this stuff every time. Great stream to remember to tweet it out. Yeah, guys, please feel free to tweet this out. I would dig that the most. If we were doing this on the iPad, and again, I draw on my iPad a lot, and I can do demonstration a lot better with my iPad, but we'll just keep doing this on here. So other tools we can use to create depth on this, right? So right now I used, we can write them on the side if it helps. All right, so I'm gonna do that for that. So we said there's the idea of one overlap. So this fist is in front of that, forearm is in front of this, is in front of this head is in front of that, so forth and so on. We get the idea that there's a chain of things going closer to the camera, further. Another way that I create things, a depth, is contour. Hopefully I spelled that right. I'm shit at spelling, but we get the relationship of these simple shapes based on the contour. So if I have, I use this thing, this letter, we'll come back to this, hold on. I use this letter C technique to show the concept of contour, and I'm going to show you guys again. It's this letter C, right? And these all have the same outline, okay? But the contours that we use, and there's no overlap here, there's no size relationship, we're specifically only talking about contour. And again, you can convey contour with like wristbands, with a line in a costume, with where the clothes fall. But this is what I'm saying. Like if I want this C, let's call it a worm, to be going towards the camera, the contour would do this. Okay, so we're saying that this thing is moving up and away towards camera. This is the front of the thing right here. This black dot. It's coming up and towards us. Here's the same shape here, and we're going to say that this thing is going away from camera constantly, right? So now we get the idea that this thing is actually facing out and away just based on these contours alone. Then you can also do both ends are coming towards you. This end is going this way and this end is going this way. But what if we said here, this thing is actually bending towards you, so you get the face of both sides, right? So now we're saying it's a C, like a donut coming, each end coming at you. This looks like it has a twist. This looks like it's a C. And then this one's gonna mess you guys up. What if the contours actually went like this on this thing, and we did this? Suddenly now this shape is no longer rounded. It's got angles on it, right? Isn't that a trip? So that's the concept of contours and why contours are important. So like where I would use contours here, let's say this was Rascal, right? I'd put that contour on his here to show that we're seeing more of the top of his head. Does it with the eyes too, but this is the lid of his thing. And then I say, here's his hair. I'm going to put the little headgear on too and overlap here. But then we have this contour right here, right, where that joint is. And usually what I'll put here is pouches. And when I think of pouches almost like a chain of packages, right, like on a train, like that, right? So that gives the idea also of not only the orientation of this torso, this side's facing, but also gives you the idea of the faces of something. Like, so if this was a sphere and I made it more sort of a polygon, these are the faces of it. Sorry, this is going to be really fucking garbage. But we get the idea that this part of it's facing that way, this part of it's facing that way, that part of it's facing that way, that part of it's facing that way, right? It's not a flat disc, it's not whatever. Well, by wrapping these pouches around that shape, I can give you the idea of what each part of these vertices is saying. So if I have this part of the pouch facing that way, and there's this part of the pouch facing that way, we get the full idea. Not only is the torso facing this way, but this body is wrapping this way, right? And then that's facing that way, and now the pouch is facing back behind. So if I put spikes on here, each of these things would change direction. Again, giving you the illusion. There's no E in contour. Thank you. I'm thinking of the word couture. Thank you, Dorby. Like I said, my spelling is shit. Another thing that I will do to convey motion, like if this guy is coming straight at us, like he's just whoosh, rushing right at us, I could put some of his effects, like he's got a liquidy costume. When I created him in 1993, I basically made an amalgam of all the characters I like. I took Spider-Man, Deadpool, Nightcrawler, and Venom, and I threw them all in one character design. So if his liquid on his arm, if he was coming at us, the liquid would kind of do this. And then if it was coming off of his leg, it would do this. So we get the idea that he's rushing towards us. But if he was like swinging and bounding towards us, let's say he came this way, I would then actually have the liquid do this to show that he was swooping this way. So these are more tools to give a static image dynamics, right? That's what we do. So that's our foreshortening rule. So there's foreshortening. So foreshortening, and then size relation. So the way size relation works is if we go like this, and then size relation and put in parentheses scale. So if I have a can of soda here, and I put something else that we know related to it, so we know it's not a giant can. So let's say here's an apple next to the can. If I draw an apple back here, and a can back there, without any sort of perspective stuff, we know that the horizon line is going to be here and the vanishing point is going to be here, right? So then if I drew something, say, taller, like a 12-inch action figure standing next to it, I can put it in the same space as that. And then we can also say, and this is the other trick, see, I'm saying that horizon line is falling on this waist. If I wanted to draw another 12-inch action figure standing way back there and have it be in the right perspective, as long as I had that horizon line fall on the same part of him way back here, that's in perspective. So or something going up his butt, says Postmaster Dan. I'm going to take a second and read the chats. I'm going to keep an eye out for some super chat stuff. Let's take a look. We got 94 people in here, and I'm just live drawing. Man, you guys are crazy. Lucius asks, you reading chat, what would a Frega freestyle on any topic run? I don't know, man. I was actually thinking about doing a song called Here Comes the Boom, where I basically savage motherfuckers. You know, like what I was going to say. Like I say, blocking on Twitter is something I don't do. The only blocking I do is back to Joe Q. Things like that. Or Frega Boom is what my name is. I'm like Billy the Kid, but I can't even make Ren famous. Like that sort of thing. Like I was thinking about doing like, you know, funny diss raps based on CG culture. I thought it would be kind of fun. Let's see. I'm going to go through the chat from the beginning. See if I see any highlights or super chats. Those are getting read. And I'm saying hello to people. Hey, Comic Book Bob, Francis Lancer. Let me go back to the top. Sorry about that. Star Tager, Tomba, Eric Vader, what up? Michael Green in the house. Leg Kick, Hale, Reagan Lodge, what's up, my man? Jurassic Potts, what up? Mechaside, hey, Crackhead Jeremy 33, Josh Putman, Johnny Cage, Eric Sabina. Let's see, the Drez, what up, Drez? Andrew Sabina, there you are again. Let's see, hail the Boombox. That's right, Boombox is in effect. Let's see, we answered Mark C. Let's see, we answered Eddie Winkler. King KDI asked to tweet this out, so if you guys can, tweet it out. I need to do it, but I always forget. Freestyle rap question. What up, Shadowhawk, Concrete, Leper? What's up, Billy Jacobs? What up, KSS? There's a text coming from Anthony Perone. Let's see what he's got to say. I'm going to tell him I'm streaming. Hey, bro, I am live streaming right now. Okay, boom. Let's see. What up, Death Metal Hero? Dorby, thank you for the spelling correction. Lucius, I'll give you a better way to communicate. Ink, okay, he's talking to another guy. Death Metal Hero likes Rascal, as do I. I have a big fan. In the Liefeld Academy of Arts and Pouches. That's right, man. I put him in. What up, Mason W? You're in the house and in effect. Let's see. Wonder Girl 60s. Thank you for $9.99. I love these live stream, Dan. Anxiously waiting Black Flag. I'm very excited about Black Flag, guys. I'm going to be working on that later today after these warm-ups. There we go. What up, Mo Biggs? Hail Caesar Caligula, Ben the Brit. Hi. Oh, what up, Bill? Bill Bosworth's in the house. Hi, PVT. My man, who's the best to swipe from? Asking for a friend. Swipe from the guys that excite you. I'll give you a guy. Anyone here a fan of the band Black Flag? I'm a fan now. I'll give you guys a little quick tour if you guys want to see a tour. First off, here's my ugly face today. I'll give you guys a real quick run through of things in this studio. My brand new mic that makes me sound like a robot. I got that Logitech StreamCam, which doesn't work. Here's a bunch of the books that I'm either reading or have read that I keep on hand. I have tons and tons of books. These are all the IDW Artist Editions. Here's my main workstation, which is kind of a mess. This is my bag of tricks. This is the one I travel with. Like, I take this with me, but I also have another thing I call my weapons cache. There's those golf pencils. This was something I was looking at the other day. I don't know if you guys know Wildcats. You probably do. What up, Omar? So Jim Lee, he had Youngblood come into Wildcats back in issue 3, and Billy Jacobs asking, the expensive camera doesn't work. It works. It's just not that great. The camera that's on the phone and the camera that's on my computer is better than it. So, but the microphone, when it works, it's better. But something interesting about this particular Wildcats, if you guys are like scholars of the stuff, Jim Lee stuff was always well drawn and well posed out, but it was never loud. And one of the things that Liefeld did in his stuff is his stuff was always loud. So this particular issue, hopefully you guys have it, is Jim basically doing what Liefeld. He's saying, I'm gonna do big double pagers. I'm gonna do big loud stuff. And this was really the first time Jim stuff got really loud, like the big overlapping panels. And you can see big stuff. This was one of those issues where he was essentially doing, if Jim Lee had Rob Liefeld's layout powers, Jim Lee always had great powers, but I'm saying this is the time he was really going his loudest. Yeah, no, man, I was gonna go get my kumquats on, but no quats in my neighborhood. You guys want to see what it looks like outside of my studio? This is my backyard. It's a jungle, right? I live out here in Georgia. This is a jungle out here, man. This is my spinner rack. A lot of people ask, what do you do for inspiration? And my favorite thing to do is where my inspiration lives. Let me get my stuff. Look at this. Here's my wall. That's right. I got my my Ravage and Rumble there. This is a actual authentic real life time machine. When I turn it on, it works. Shit, things are slowing down. I gotta put it back. This is how I stay so young. This is one of my Rubik's Cube. I have a Rubik's Cube collection. There's Soundwave back there. We got Batman, Spawn. Here's a bunch of stuff. Something you guys may or may not recognize, but this is photocopies of Arthur Adams' first professional printed work, High Energy notwithstanding. This was an Alien World 3D special, and this is the black and whites. This is the black and whites. Nobody has this. The only way you're able to see this is in 3D. I got this. Here's my old He-Man reference for when I was working on He-Man. I actually paid $70 so I could have this guy, so I could draw him accurately. There's my man right there. Okay, so back to the spinner rack. I needed to turn on my light. So these things are actually kind of organized, right? Like, so this is like my Art Adams bin, and I'm sorry you guys are gonna get mad because I'm gonna bin these comics, but they're my comics, so they have been loved and loved and loved. Art Adams, Art Adams, Art Adams, Art Adams. So this is all my Art Adams. Here's a bunch of Liefeld. So I got like New Mutants and that stuff. This is the first comic Liefeld ever signed for me back in '89. This is my McFarlane stuff. Going into some other junk in business. This is all my Whilce Portacio Punishers, with a couple appearances by Eric Larson. Ken Bruzenak, the guy who lettered this stuff, is lettering Black Flag. So you guys, these wholesome comics are entertaining. We got my Whilce Portacio down here, some more Whilce. Then we get into early Jim Lee, Punisher War Journal, more Jim Lee, more Jim Lee. Then we get into some more Todd McFarlane. This is all the adjective list Spider-Man stuff. Then over here, this is at least this top one. This top one right here these are what I call my building blocks, and the reason I call them building blocks is they probably mean nothing to anybody but me. This comic book here, Marvel Universe, I bought this one on a spinner rack when I was a kid, back in '85. I think I was 11, almost 12. But this is how I found out comic book stores existed. I looked in here and they said first appearance of so and so was in this book. I asked the guy like, "Yo, where can I find that? Do you guys have it in the back room?" And found out that Quick Marts don't have back stock, but comic book stores do. So this particular thing is pivotal. This here, How to Draw Comics comic, was actually drawn by John Byrne and John Romita. I'm gonna pull that aside so we can sidebar that. That's a place I learned to draw in addition to How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. This, of course, is a rebuy. This is the first appearance of Cloak and Dagger, who are up here at the top of my spinner rack. Gateway Comics. If anybody wants to know about Rascal's power, this is where I stole it from. This character here, named the Spot. He can throw these discs out and punch and kick and teleport through that. So this is a book I bought on stands, and I thought his power was the absolute coolest power, so of course I grifted it like a motherfucker. This is another character called Slide, who I loved his character design, and that ended up getting in there. Yes, Smurfs #1, one of the very first comics I ever bought, not knowing I was going to be a comic fan. Here is the Solson publication Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Authorized Martial Arts Training Guide. Really cool poses in here if you guys are into poses. Some John Byrne team-up stuff. Of course, Amazing Fantasy 15. Who didn't love that? This is another Cloak and Dagger appearance. That's my G.I. Joe cover. I don't know why it's in there. And some more. There's another copy of that same thing. The single most impactful comic on my career, right, is this cover. This cover alone. Of course, I've got Simon, Lobo's back. Here's another one that I really love, the Sam Keith Marvel Comics Presents story. Here's another version of it. It's interesting looking at the print jobs between the two of these and the original. There are some that are just better print jobs, and when you look at Sam Keith's stuff, you really, really want to see the print job. And then I've got Seven to Eternity back here. Big fan of Jerome Pena. This is a very crucial book too, Machine Man by Herb Trimpe and Barry Windsor Smith. Now we're getting into some of my interview magazines. The McFarlane interview. This is the greatest crossover of all time. This is one of the greatest books on writing comic books. We got Cosmic Odyssey, some Neil Adams down here. Here we're getting into the Black Flag Classics. Then we're also getting into Stephen Platt Classics, who is another big influence on me. We got Cyberfrog. That's my homie Uncle E. We know and love him. Dark Knight, Ronin. Then we get into some Liefeld, Youngblood, #1, #2. This is Travis Chare's first work. Eric Canetti, one of his first deals. Some John Buscema, some more Stephen Platt. This is a super rare version of Ultimates. It's a trade paperback, and it's all of Joe Madureire's pencils. So this is one of those you're gonna have to pry it from my dead hand situations. But anyway, long story short, yeah, you saw my Ronin floppies, man. My buddy Christian hooked me up. So this is one of the ways I get inspiration. I walk up to this thing. I remember exactly when and where I was when this came out. I remember seeing this original, this cover. I remember buying this off the stands and having conversations with my friend Jay Mazar. Here's some more art at him. So all of these give me like a certain amount of feels, right? So here's my Rob Liefeld 1989 autograph. That's where I met Rob, and everything changed after meeting Rob. Of course, I got my job over at Extreme. Some of you guys may not know about this Todd McFarlane job. This is Invasion. Really good McFarlane stuff. So, and then here's the Black Flag. So all the Stephen Platt stuff in Prophet. Some of the stronger stuff with Rob. This doesn't factor in. I just miss my homie Mike. Here's some Aphrodite 9, which I think is excellent. Some Nom. I don't know if you guys are old school comic fans, but this right here is also another one of those exclusive things I've got. These are Gil Kane's layouts. They're kind of a rare thing to see, but I've got you know, all these things. What up, Cuck? Jabba the Cuck. Why are you here, man? Because you get love. Jabba the Cuck's in the house. You guys give him love. Oh, here we go. These are some things that people... I've had these for many, many years as well. They're these Kevin Nolan model sheets for the Batman animated series. I've had these for a few years. And then, here's something that I want to show you guys. I saved this. Orientation is locked. I saved this, okay? Check out this drawing. This was drawn by a guy named Don Stutrud, and this is how he drew it. When I was a freshman, he was a senior, and I was in senior art class, and this is the kind of stuff that I was inspired by in art class. This guy could draw better than anybody, made me every day feel like I really fucking sucked, but I'm happy about that because it helped push me to the next level. Here's some more Gil Kane studies. These aren't published. These are all things, you know, that are my little private collection. But I'll end up sharing this stuff, man. Let's see what else we have in this stack of inspiration. Some more Splat, some more Liefeld, some more Splat. I don't know if you guys saw the hidden Black Flag shields in Prophet. You can also see them on the interior as well. I don't know where that page is, but it's in here. Here's another Splat book that we love. Italian version, Prophet, some more Splat. Team 7, which, in fact, a lot of people don't know this. This book was a main influence on Splat. So if you guys want to get into Splat's roots, look at Liberatory, look at Sam Keith, look at McFarlane, look at Team 7, look at Whilce Portacio's X-Men stuff. This is my OG copy of Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. In fact, it's even signed by the man himself. I got this as an advanced copy, but this is, you guys heard it on this stream. When I say this is the most important contributor to Black Flag, once you read the whole series, issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, and like I said, issue 1 is launching this month, campaign-wise. We're launching on the 25th of this month. Hey, buddy. So this is the John Byrne stuff. So it's another one of those how to draw books. Tells you the tools, tells you how to draw the figure. Then we get into the John Romita stuff. It's not as exciting. Here's what I was showing you guys. Look at that. Straight arm, bent arm. Showing muscles at work, how they work. And then he gets into like some poses and like how to make things imposing, how to draw the women, some storytelling stuff. Overall, just a wonderful how to draw book. You know, really cool stuff. That's why I was saying it was foundational. One of my foundational books that I hold dear. And every now and then, like I said, I'll just go over to my spinner rack, grab it, and I'll smell the book. I'll do that sort of stuff.
It's a how to draw a comic.
It is a how to draw comic, son. Okay, so we're coming back here, and I'm gonna plug this back in. Sorry, this is all crazy moving the camera around. You guys are getting dizzy, I'm sure. Let me make sure this is working. I love that on Uncle Ethan's stream he did the Banana Splits theme. I just showed my kids the show the other day. They thought it was creepy. La la la, na 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 na. Oh, every now and then, I don't know if you guys have these I'm so drunk that I've got things in my brain. So I wrote, the key to making this all work is to be like a shark, not in the way that most should think, but in the way that they don't stop moving. Utilize all time. There are times where the dream is strong and anything is possible. These are the best days. These are the ones we chase when they get away from us. Then there are other days where drawing is hard, but tidying the studio or doing laundry comes with ease. Do the laundry. If the drawing is hard, go at it. If research is what feels right, do that. Definitely have prioritization. Let it be the guide. Point is, keep moving. This was a message to myself, but I also felt like it was a message to other people. And what that means is just keep on going. Don't wallow out. Don't ever find moments where you're like, oh, I can't do anything. You'll be down to do something, you know. Now we're gonna just do a real quick thing. We're gonna go through the chats. 190 you guys here. That's awesome. I'm gonna go through the chat, see if there's any new super chats, any questions. Looking for the highlights. KDI asks if I go back and reread. Sometimes, man, there's just not a lot of time to read. I do a lot of audiobooks, and I will at nighttime flip through comics, and mostly for art sake. Oh, good question. Lucius asks, Platt versus Willis, who do you think does it better? Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm a huge Willis fan, and I'm a huge Splat fan. I can't even answer that. That'll be a flip of a coin, to be fully honest with you. I couldn't answer. Any chance of getting Stephen Platt to do a variant cover for Black Flag? He has been asked. Stephen Platt has been asked, and he's thinking about it, which is better than a no. There's a Banana Splits horror movie out.
I know.
That makes for good horror, I think. I think that would make for good horror. All right, so then here's the next thing we're going to jump into. We're going to talk about proportions. This is brought to you by Highball Energy Drink. It's water with caffeine in it and no sugar. Good times. There we go.
Can I have a sip, Dad?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay, so let me get this to focus. There we go. So proportions, right? A lot of people talk about how in the 90s we drew big characters with little heads, but there's a reason for it, right? So let's say I draw this shape right here, and I'll put
Like a big character with a normal size head.
Right, there we go. So if I do this, there's going to be a couple of proportion things that happen. So here we go. Here's the idea of a torso, right? I'm going to draw this same torso over here, or at least a similar one, similar in size and shape, etc. So if I wanted to make this into, say, Sniper, and these guys aren't going to be the same size together, right? We'll do another drawing next to this afterwards. If I was going to say this is Sniper, and I put his chin here, about the chin to the bottom of the chest, put his chin here, we can say this is the size of his head in relation to the...
It's upside down.
It's not upside down?
Because his chin is on the top of his head.
No, okay, you're confusing me. Okay, so we're saying that this, proportionately, we're saying this is how Sniper would be, okay? Now, if this was Gorilla, I would end up making the head about that big on the same size torso, right? And then I would have that neck come in like this, but I would make these shoulders and his arms huge, right? Like this, okay? And then if this character, Sniper, was next to him, it would be more like this. So you see how the size of the head really makes all the difference. That's why, you know, they go, oh, you should make his head bigger. No, I shouldn't. I'm trying to make him look massive. And it's the same thing. Like if I was to put a gun, a regular size,
If he has a bigger head, he could be smarter.
yeah, if I was to put like a 45 in Sniper's hand, proportionally, we can say if Gorilla was holding that same gun, it would be like holding a Tic Tac box for him. So we use those things as a way to say, hey, this is where, you know, how we make things look bigger and such. Also, we can do things like with angles, right? So if I wanted Gorilla to be extra imposing, we're saying that Sniper's about at his chest height. So if I put his chest here and say that's where his chest is, we're at that eye level right here, then we're kind of looking up at Gorilla like this on the underside of him. So if we had a conversation with Gorilla and Sniper and we did a point of view shot, his eyes are right here, right? So we would end up saying, like, when Sniper's looking at him, he's going to look at the underside of him. Because if we showed, you know, the same shot, nah, because I need to read the chats, son. If we showed Gorilla looking down as Sniper's POV, we're suddenly saying that Sniper's taller than Gorilla, and that wouldn't work. But Gorilla, the flip of Gorilla's thing is if he's looking down, we can say when he's looking back at Sniper, who's looking at him, that he'd be looking more down at Sniper. So that's a storytelling device. If these guys were having a conversation, he's looking up towards him. So this POV is from a lower perspective. If he was looking back at Sniper, we're looking down towards Sniper. So we would see maybe some floor back there. And here we might even see a bit of the ceiling. So that's also a little storytelling tip. But anyway, you guys, I don't know how long I've been going. I've been going for an hour and 7 minutes. I want you guys to know about. Let me flip this. We've got a live stream that's happening today with Uncle E and with me. I see the baby over there. You want to say hi, baby? This is my little 1-year-old. Don't tell about Fudge, Jabba. That's the baby.
Wait, show her shirt.
Oh, what does it say? This little piggy stayed home. Boop.
Stay home, stay
So
safe.
yeah, tonight on Crowdfunding Comics with Billy Tucci and Uncle E, we're going to be talking about CG. We're going to be talking about Black Flag. We're going to be talking about Cyberfrog. We're going to be talking about all the great things about crowdfunding and catching up with my homie Billy. I've known Billy since about 93, and I've known Ethan since 95. So it's going to be like a bunch of old pals hanging out, which we're really stoked. Lethal Diva asks what time. It is going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern time on, I think it's called Crowdfunding Comics is the name of his channel. I want to thank my mod, Mr. Michael Green, for posting the links to the sign up. You guys, sign up for the pre-launch campaign for Black Flag. I'm going to be setting up MailChimp either later this week or early next week. Send you guys some goodies, maybe some MP3s, things like that, some sketches. It's going to be like basically our mailing list for our gang. We got a gang right here, the Boombox. You guys are the Frega Boomers, a.k.a. the dudes, the dudettes. And yeah, man, Mr. Green, keep grilling. 123 for a draw stream. What the heck? That breaks all conventions. You guys leave some comments. And if you're not subscribing, hit that. It's on this side, I think, right? Hit that notification. No. Yeah. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. We have Todd McFarlane's interview coming up soon. We have Mike Mignola's interview coming up soon. Todd McFarlane is a 2-part interview called Todd McFarlane's Rules of Success. You do not want to miss those. Those changed my life. Those interviews literally changed my life. Hit the like Donnie Cates if you guys, get Donnie to say hi, CG, because we're fans of yours, Donnie. We're big fans of your work. So like us back. So anyhow, that's it, guys. 9 p.m. tonight, live on Crowdfunding Comics with Billy Tucci. You got Uncle E, that's right, Caesar, EVS, and me, Fregaboom, aka the Shifu or Sifu, aka Sensei. I'm down to take that. If Uncle E is the Caesar, I'll take that I am the Sensei or Shifu, because I'm here to show you guys some things to make your creations better. So go out there, draw something today, write something today, create something today. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you later. And put any comments you want in the comments, good, bad. I am ready and able to address them all. You guys, be well. I'm going to switch this over so you can look at the last drawings here and have Detective Hopper tell you I'm on guard, homie, all day, every day.